Hi friends, welcome to your restorative practice. I'm happy you're here. Hopefully you can hear me okay. It seems like there might be a slight delay at the moment, so luckily this is a restorative practice and we're going to go slow, so just be patient and listen because my body might be doing something different than what I'm actually saying. So we're gonna have all the usual props like our pillows and our blankets. If you have yoga blocks, feel free to grab them. If you have a stool or a chair, feel free to grab that. And we're gonna get started laying down on our bellies. Just a very simple laying down on the belly. If you want, something I like to utilize when I'm laying down on my belly is a rolled up blanket at the back of the mat so that I can rest the tops of my ankles on that. I'm going to move all this other stuff out of the way. And I'll move forward. So when I'm coming down to my belly, I'm going to extend my ankles back to that rolled blanket so that there's a nice little soft flexion in the ankles. And then you could take your hands underneath your forehead, fold the hands, and just rest the forehead on the backs of the hands here. Take a few moments to adjust so that your shoulders are drawing down your back, your jaw is softening. And just notice how this feels to lie on your belly. And see if you can get yourself breathing a little bit deeper into the belly. Notice if you're holding any tension in the jaw, can you relax and soften there? Just kind of generally checking in. Notice how you're feeling today. We'll take about 5 more breaths here. Okay. Now we're going to add just a little gentle movement before we settle into stillness. I'd like you to take your elbows out wide like a cactus, not sphinx, so not so much lifted with elbows underneath the shoulders, but elbows wider than the mat, in line with the shoulders. And we're just going to roll from hip to hip. So I'm going to start out by bending my left knee, pressing down into my left palm, rolling off to my right side, and my left toes can tap the mat or outside of the mat behind the right leg. Relax the side of your right chest and your right ear. Okay, and then come back through center, extend that left leg long. Pull that left elbow wide out to the side of your mat. Right palm presses down. Press your way onto your left side. Relax the left chest, the left side of the head, and tap the floor behind you, those right toes. And then come back to the belly, extend. So just side to side, right elbow out to the right side. Press down through your left palm, roll onto the right side. Bend that top knee, relax the head. Come back to the belly. Press down into your right palm, roll onto your left side. So we're taking a slow, just going side to side with your breath at your own cadence. It doesn't have to look like what mine looks like. Just notice how it feels, in particular in the spine. So there's a lot happening usually in the whole spine, but notice where you're feeling sensation. Is it really concentrated in the low back? Really concentrated in the chest? Just notice. One more time to each side. And this time, as you roll off to your right side, pause there, take about 3 breaths. When you've completed those 3 breaths, roll your way back to the belly. And then press your way onto your left side. And pause here for about 3 breaths. Good, and then come back onto the belly. We'll take the hands and fold them right underneath the forehead once more. We'll take about a minute here resting on the belly, the same way we began. All right, so we're going to set up for our first long hold. And as with most things, I'd like you to watch my setup first and then try it for yourself. I'd like you to have something like a pillow or a folded blanket alongside the right side of your mat. So I'm going to take my folded blanket. And again, a pillow would work just as well. So my blanket's about the shape of a pillow anyways. And then I'm going to come back to my belly. My left leg is going to extend back behind me. I'm going to come all the way to the belly. I'm going to make that cactus shape with my arms. So my elbows are out wide. I'm looking over towards my right shoulder. I'm going to bend that right knee and place the inner right knee and inner right ankle on that soft blanket or pillow, whatever you're using. Okay, so we're opening up through the inner right hip in a very, very soft, gentle way. Now, just note, again, I'm looking over towards my right. So I'm resting my left cheek on the mat. I'm looking in the same direction as that bent knee leg. If you want a little bit more rotation through the spine, you could look away from the bent knee leg. So you could look over towards your left. So then the spine is in more of like a twist. If the neck is too tight, if this is causing any extra tension, and just come back to that left cheek resting. We're going to be here for a good 3 minutes. So start to settle in, find stillness. Check out where the cushion is underneath the inner right knee and inner right ankle. Be sure that you're getting that full support so your ankle and knee bone aren't digging into a hard surface like a hardwood floor. Just giving it some padding. Notice your breath here. Is it deep? Is it shallow? Can you feel your breath moving all the way down into your belly? You have about one more whole minute here, so see if there's any extra layer of relaxation, any places you can soften. Take 3 to 5 more breaths in your current position. When you're ready to release, that right leg will slowly start to extend back. You can take again your hands and fold them underneath your forehead. And coming back to that starting position again and again, it's like a home base. We'll just rest here in neutral. Take this opportunity to breathe deep into the belly. Feel your back rib cage expand. Three breaths here. Good. And then we'll change sides. So however you like, you could press your way up to tabletop. I'm just going to continue to face you, so I'm going to turn all the way around. You can just simply move your prop to the second side if you like. So again, the elbows are wide like a cactus, right? And you're facing down on your belly. Your right leg extends back behind you. And the left knee, it bends out to the side and it rests on the support of whatever prop you're using. Same with the inner ankle. So you're completely supporting that inner left leg. And then I recommend here starting out by just looking towards your left. Your right cheek would be on the mat. Notice how this side feels different. Or maybe it feels the same. But either way, it's just an invitation to notice. And as always, you can explore turning your gaze away from your knee. That makes a little bit more rotation in the spine. Then your left cheek would be down on the mat. I have about 3 minutes here. If you did choose to turn your head away from your bent knee leg, I'd recommend bringing that head back in the same direction so that your right cheek is resting. About 3 to 5 breath cycles in this current position. When you're ready, you can slowly start to extend your left leg long behind you to meet the right. You can take your hands and fold them underneath the forehead, neutral through the neck, kind of tuck the chin in a little bit, just to lengthen out through the spine. Take about 1 minute here in neutral. Just resetting, cleansing the palate. All right, so we'll set up our second shape, and again, you can always watch if you'd like. We're gonna extend the right arm long overhead, so it's kind of like you're still belly down, like you're doing a Superman shape, flying through the air, but just with the right arm. Okay, so the right arm stretching straight forward, that palm is facing down. You're gonna rest your right cheek on the right bicep and then start to roll all the way onto your right side. And then see if you can get more like on the right armpit. So not so much on the flesh of the back of the shoulder. So you kind of press that flesh back. So you're on the armpit, you're on your right hip, left leg is stacked on top, left arm is stacked on top. The whole weight of your body is resting on your right side. Now, my legs are straight. You can always bend your knees. If you're feeling really wobbly, first of all, that's normal. Your little fingertips of your left hand can just rest in front of your chest like a kickstand. And when you start to feel balanced, you can rest that hand on the top hip. We're just going to pause here and find stillness for about 2 minutes. This particular shape, sometimes it causes a lot of sensation in the armpit, in the hip, and sometimes it doesn't feel like much of anything at all. And both are okay. What we're doing is rinsing the lymphatic system, stimulating the lymphatic system, which is responsible for cellular waste. We have a lot of nerve ganglia that is responsible for lymphatic stimulation in the armpit and hips. And we're just compressing. And when we release out of this, we'll get nice, fresh, oxygenated blood flowing through those areas. Can you relax your neck, your shoulder, relax your head? Do your best to soften, let the full weight of the body release into the mat. I invite you to close the eyes. If your body still feels wobbly, just let it wobble. It's okay. Last 3 breaths here. Okay, so when you're ready, you can start to peel your way again onto your belly. You can stack your hands underneath the forehead and rest. 1 minute. Let that right shoulder release. You might notice some new sensation running along the whole right side body. And for that second side from the belly, we're simply extending that left arm straight forward, the palm facing down. You press down into your right hand to roll your weight all the way onto your left side, left hip, left armpit. Be sure that you're pressing that flesh of the armpit back behind you so that you're actually on your armpit and not on the flesh of the shoulder blade. Your choice whether to extend the legs long and stack one on top of the other or bend the knees. Right fingertips can be planted in front of the chest like a little kickstand until you find that homeostasis. And a little bit of wobble is always okay. Eventually, if you want, you can place the right hand on top of the right hip. Completely release the weight of the head. Relax your neck. Soften your jaw. 2 minutes here. Last 3 to 5 breaths. Okay, so we'll start to release. And if you want to take your final Shavasana, if you're enjoying that belly down shape, this could be your Shavasana. You can just simply, again, roll back onto the belly and support the forehead. If you prefer to come over onto your back, maybe you grabbed a chair before practice, I grabbed a stool. This could be kind of like your legs up the wall for your Shavasana. Either way, inviting stillness and support into the body. Invitation here again is to close the eyes, relax the shoulders, soften the neck, a slight tilt of the chin in. Maybe you place your hands on your belly to encourage those deep belly breaths if you're lying on your back. 1 minute Shavasana. Feel free to stay longer in this shape, the longer the better. If you need to move on with your day, inviting gentle movement, fingertips and toes. You might move your head side to side. And if you're still on your belly, you could press up and back towards child's pose for a few breaths. If you're lying on your back, you could roll off to a side in fetal position. Eventually, we'll meet in a brief upright seat to close out our practice. I always invite you to gather something underneath the sits bones to help the spine grow tall with ease. I like a blanket or a cushion. Chairs are always welcome. Let's again connect the hand to the belly, maybe one hand to the heart, closing the eyes, bowing the chin, acknowledging this is my body, this is my breath. With reverence and gratitude for the practice, to all of our teachers, past, present, future, and to the teacher within your own heart. Namaste, yogis. Thank you so much for being here today. It's such a pleasure to teach these practices, and I really hope that you enjoy. Take care of yourselves and come back again soon, please.